Yo, what's up, guys? Schizomanic here. So the fall 2016 anime season has started. So I'm going to kick this off with my variety of first impressions and see how you guys feel. I'm pretty much going to put a like goal for each one of these videos. Since I have about 300 subscribers, let's say about 50 to 100 likes will dictate whether I do a first impression. I mean, if I do episode reviews of those videos, because I don't want to do episode reviews of a series that no one gives a damn about. So the first one, if you know me well enough, you knew I was already in love with this series to begin with. So it makes only sense for me to review the first, talk about, or even mention the first episode of the. I don't know how they're counting this because I want to count this as the fourth season, but it really, technically, I'm thinking this is supposed to be a spinoff because it's not. It seems to take place in the same universe, but it isn't really. I don't know. We'll kind of figure it out as it go on. Anyway, it's working season 4 or working spinoff season 1, episode 1. I'm not totally sure. For those who haven't seen Working, I am going to do a review of the first series. So I guess you can call this Working Series 2, if nothing else. Um, Working, or the way it's actually written out, www.working, or that, was it dot Wagneria? Is it dot Wagneria dot work? Yeah, dot Wagneria. Which makes me think that maybe they're counting this as the fourth season because there's 3 W's and then dot Wagneria for the fourth W. So I'm gonna think of this as Working Season 4, new series edition. Anyways, as I said, the like goal for this is somewhere between 50 to 100 likes. If you want me to do episode reviews of this, I will. If you don't, then just don't heavily like the video or dislike it. Doesn't matter to me. Just giving you guys some understanding. So let's kind of talk about the first episode. It's definitely working, and I think it takes. I don't know if this takes place before, or after, or even during the previous working series, because in the beginning you do see a little bit of Sota walking as you see the new character Daisuke walking, and they kind of do that whole crossing paths like you're passing the torch. They do this all the time in anime. They did it when Gintama and Sket Dance were switching spots, where Sket Dance ended and Gintama started. It's nothing fucking new, but it just brings up the question: is this going to be? I can't tell timeline wise because it's during the winter. I could easily see this being a prequel series, but I don't think these series are going to interconnect anyway, so I don't think it makes that much of a deal. They have There are some aspects of the first working that are working. It still feels like Wagneria. It just feels a little bit more faster paced than the original first season of Wagneria was, and that's, I guess, to be expected. It's a spinoff, so you don't have to do as much as you did before. Also, he probably wrote this. This is probably written later than the original Wagneria since it's a spinoff series, so the style may have changed. But so let's talk about the first episode in the sense that our main character is Daisuke Higashida, which I'm probably just gonna call him Daisuke. I have not remember all these characters' names because they introduce a lot of them to you at once, and it will take time for me to recognize all those names. But our main character isn't as off. I mean, kind of the major gag in the original Wagneria was that like Soda was kind of the straight man for the most part, except he had the weird obsession with little things. Like they gave him a weird quirk like everybody else had. Daisuke, the only quirk I see that he may have, and it's not really as obvious as they try to make it seem like it is, that he can't say no to anybody. Like he's a yes man. But his main gimmick is that his father just went bankrupt and his business got closed down. So, and even though their family situation isn't terrible, the conveniences he had, he doesn't have anymore. So he has to get a job to afford things like a cell phone or like lunch money or bus ride tickets and shit. That's the reason why he wants to get a job, and his whole gimmick seems to be that he doesn't like to work. Although the episode would lead you to believe something different because he doesn't really complain about working other than the beginning of the episode. Okay. They also don't do the thing like in the first, like in the original Wagner, where Popera is the one who kind of calls out to him, to Soda, to get him introduced into the job at Wagner. Here, he just already has the interview for it, as if he's already been, it feels like we skipped the process of him finding Wagneria and thinking, "Oh, this is a job I want to work at." It actually didn't even seem like, according to the episode, it seems like that was his first time walking into that store. Now we get on to the characters, and I'm not, as I said, I don't really know their names, so I'm gonna go by their traits. The first girl we meet, which is the girl that seems to be the promotional girl for this series, unlike she seems to have elements of Popera in her mixed with other elements. She's the nice, sweet girl who says, it is shy, welcome to everybody. She's that character. And then you take her into the back, and she's like tomboyish as hell. The only gag we really understood about her from this episode is that she can't really cook sweets. Now, I don't know that means she can't cook, period. I just know she can't cook sweets. And she's just kind of, I think her name is Miyuki. I may be messing that up. Or it starts with an M. It's like MY something. Uh, she seems fine. There's nothing really too distinct about her, ironically enough. Like Popera's whole running gag is that she was really cute, but she had like a height complex, and they made real heavy emphasis on that. And it meshed well with the main character who has this weird obsession with cute things, even though technically Popera is older than her. That was the gag. Here, the dynamic isn't as like it doesn't feel as balanced where it's just like, oh, well, supposedly the main character is a yes man, and the girl's like a tomboyish kind of girl who's a hard ass. We're also introduced to the manager. Ironically enough, the manager seems about the same tier as like the manager from Otosan from the original series, where he's generally like a nice person. The gimmick here is instead of looking for his lost wife, it seems like the manager here is just fucking stupid. He's like nice and stupid, which is probably the best thing you need to be. Because if you're mean and stupid, kind of like how Ryoga is from Rama 1/2, you don't fucking like the character, which is the problem I have with Ryoga from Rama 1/2. He's stupid and he's also annoying as fuck, and he's mean. This guy seems like he's a nice guy. They also have this weird running gag where the main girl seems to have the tendency of hitting him for being too nice. So that's a thing. I think the other girl's name is Muranashi. Her gimmick seems to be the fact that she talks to the dead. I think. It's kind of that whole. She already looked pale and looked pretty like pale and white hair and everything. Made you think, oh, that doesn't look like a Wagneria character, and then it's like, oh, well, she kind of talks to the dead. I say kind of because she doesn't seem to recognize that she talks to the dead. The gimmick seems to be is that there's a sequence in which we see her talk to someone who isn't there. So it's like she can see ghosts but doesn't recognize that what she's seeing are ghosts. That's what it comes off as. But the viewer, we are never shown any ghosts, so it just makes make it seem like she's crazy. But there's no reason for her to be like that. So I don't get it. Personally, I don't get it. But it seems like her gag is that she's really in tune with the spiritual world while not being interested in the spiritual world. Seem fine. It depends on how it meshes well as a gag. She seems to work well as like a side character commentary. And as I said, Daisuke seems to be the straight man. The other interesting thing is that Daisuke's family was already shown in this first episode, considering that we didn't see Sota's sisters at all, and we didn't even see his fucking mom until way later into the series. I find it interesting that they showed his entire family already. And it seems like the running gag with his family is stupid. Not the best gag in the world, but hey, it's something. Then we have Miss Moneybags, and then you have the poor hostess. Miss Moneybags. Oh, well, let's start with the hostess because it leads into Moneybags. The hostess is like a generally nice guy, but he's in a similar situation as Daisuke, where his family needs money, so he has to kind of get a job for his family. The irony is that Miss Moneybags is the daughter of the guy that his family is indebted to, which kind of makes him indebted to the daughter. On top of that, apparently they've also been childhood friends, and there's some romantic reference that at some point in time he rejected her love at some point, and that's probably going to be the romantic gimmick here, is that like the girl's probably still in love with the guy, but she's also a bitch. She's kind of a spoiled brat, and because of the indebted that his father is to her father, she can kind of make him do things, which can work as an interesting gag, but we never saw enough of her other than like the gimmick of the money and everything. Like she fucks up an order and she just throws money at one of the customers, which can be funny. And it wasn't like it wasn't funny, so we'll see how that goes. That seems about the dynamic there. Um, and then you have a character who seems like a weird fusion of like bits of June from the first series and Kyoko mixed with a little bit of originality where she smokes, she has blonde hair, she seems to be in college, but she doesn't really want to work and she uses these really ridiculous excuses. And because the manager is stupid, he'll let her get away with it. But she also is relatively smart, which was the funny gag with her and the main girl where she has like this difficult question and the girl was like, "That's not fair. You threw questions at me that I couldn't answer because you're in college." And then she asked Daisuke the question and he was like, "Yeah, I already know the answer." And she was like, "Ugh." So that can lead into some interesting dynamics that she slowly but surely is trying to bust him out on like book knowledge because it's stated that Daisuke can study well, so that's a thing. We're introduced to two of the cooks, but there's not too much about the cooks that we know yet. Although we see one of the cooks in the opening, who I'm guessing is supposedly like they do the thing that they did in White Narrow where they show the three main guys as love interests and the three main girls as love interests, and it's kind of hinted towards the end of this episode with the Valentine's Day chocolates and how he'll still eat the chocolates even though they taste like shit. But there's not like a heavy amount of romantic tension there for me to get anything out of. But it seems like they may have fixed the problem that original Wagner had, where it pretty much set up a gag in the first season and just dragged that gag out for 3 seasons. Like the issues that June had with Kyoko and Chio, the issues Inami and Sota had, and the issues fucking who else am I missing? Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Jun, Chio, Sato, Sota, Inami. Who am I missing? There's another guy I'm missing. Who was the other guy? All right, because there really wasn't another guy. It was really just two main relationships, and you had Soma thrown in there because he's the only other guy in the series. That might have been what it was, because I don't remember. I thought there was another relationship they were working on. I mean, there's some other stuff like the Yamada stuff. I'm talking about romance. At least based on the opening for this series, it seems like there's going to be three main romances. You have Miss Moneybags and the host boy. You have Daisuke and the main girl, and then you seem to have the cook and Murashi. Now that's just a guess because there's nothing in the first episode to hint on that gag. But I'm just taking a look at the visual images and just taking shots in the dark. There also seem to be a few other characters we haven't been introduced to that are in the uh, promotional images. They look like just normal schoolgirls. So there are things that we have not fully recognized yet. So there's more to look forward to. I like the first episode though. There was nothing. It just seems more fast paced and just jointed a little bit. But nothing to like where it got on my nerves. Where Servant X Service just didn't have a good enough amount of running gags. This seems like it can have the gags. It just depends on which ones are the focuses of episodes. And just like I'm expecting work, I'm not expecting any type of real resolution in the entire season. Although it could, but we'll see. But I'm liking it so far, based on the first episode. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Please support me on Patreon if you can or if you want to, offering cool rewards. The first month just passed where we did the digital giveaway, so you can enter in that. So, and that's if you want to. There's nothing you won't lose anything. But you will get access to exclusive content, like if you guys want me to do live reactions, and due to YouTube's copyright bullshit system, I'm going to be using those as like reward tiers, like $1. I think it's like my $3 reward tier. So that's the thing. But yeah, 50 likes if you want, 50 likes or more if you want me to do episode reviews of this series. Facebook, Twitter, all that other fun stuff is in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh.